They would spread the word that I was too expensive and nobody else would hire me for anything at all. I did that for a while. I think I did that probably for the first year until I went to my first mastermind and I met millionaires and I saw how millionaires worked. And I said to myself, I am never going to undercut myself in life again.
Welcome to Success Leaves Clues, the podcast where we interview business owners on how they built their businesses and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is David Wynn, and I'm a business coach and the founder of Purple Circle, where we help business owners achieve their first 6-figure, 7-figure, and 8-figure year, all without sacrificing their quality of life. Before becoming a business coach and before founding Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7- and 8-figure coaching businesses and have been a consultant at several businesses doing over $100 million each, including some that are publicly listed and doing over $1 billion each. In every episode of the podcast, you're going to learn lessons that took our guests years to learn, and you'll be able to learn that in minutes. No matter if you're a new business owner or an established business owner, every episode is going to give you the clues in order to elevate your business.
Welcome to Success Leaves Clues podcast. I'm Pedro, and today I'm joined by Monica Taylor, founder of Rocket Consultants and an organizational development expert. Monica works alongside organizations navigating transformation and building leader pipelines, bringing a standard of resilience, humanity, and legacy that goes far beyond a brand statement. Monica created Circle of Icons, her signature women's leadership program born from years of watching high potential women plateau from the lack of the right support, community, and relevant learning. Welcome to the show, Monica.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great to have you. Excited to record with you, by the way. And I'm a former consultant myself, so there's that. In Brazil here, where I live, I worked at Ernst & Young. But I want to backtrack a little, okay, Monica, and get into the origin story, because you could be doing so many things with your life, right? As I joke sometimes, it could be a chef, you could be a plumber, but Monica chose coaching/consultant, right? So can you walk us through why you chose that lane and the evolution of it, right? When you started, and how does it look like right now?
Absolutely. So I started with coaching because I had met so many high caliber, high impact women in particular who knew how to show up like a 10, but their inside was like a 0. They were struggling to be authentic and to align with their true selves. So they were performing rather than being. And I picked that up years ago and realized that they could be so much more whole. They could be so much better as leaders to individuals looking up to them or looking toward them for inspiration and leadership if they were healed and worked on some things on the inside. So that's what finally led me to become a coach.
Mm. Whenever someone tells me something like you just did, I'm thinking about social media in a way. Like the more often than not, I see a lot of people like, for example, I would compare my inner self to others' exterior. Like on social media, everyone's so perfect, right? Like, am I the only one
Absolutely.
who's facing problems? And when you're talking about they were performing rather than being, and compare, and inside they felt empty in a way, right? That hits
Yes.
home, really, considering today's age and all of that. Now, what I would love for us to talk to is, before the podcast started, we were talking about the pivot, right? About COVID,
Mhm.
and then you started your Rocket Consultants around 6 years ago, and that started
Mhm.
all. But can you walk us through that pivot, right? What made you choose coaching, like specifically, and how did that felt? Because I see a lot of coaches in the early days that they chose coaching, but in the early days they were like helping people, some were advice giving, but eventually they are like, oh, I'm building a real business around this. It's almost like an identity shift. So can you expand on that a little bit?
Of course. So I pivoted into being a full-time professional coach because I got laid off during the pandemic. And I was laid off from a job I had been working for about 6 years. And the person who fired me is a woman who I believe embodied some of the traits I mentioned to you a few minutes ago, where she was a high performer, high impact, but just simply not clear about who she was as a person. And it even boils down to how she dismissed people, during the layoff. That struck me and gave me the energy to turn toward a certification I had, which was coaching. I had gone to Georgetown University and gotten a certification in OD consulting and change leadership, and didn't do anything with it. It was just kind of sitting. I did that in 2019, early 2020. And I decided to actually pick up my certification and make it mean something. So that's how I decided to reconnect with my credential and move forward with coaching.
So interesting.
Yeah,
You're
didn't want
laid
to.
off by your avatar, as it sounds like. Your ideal client profile. That is wild.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right.
Very interesting. Okay.
hmm
Now, after you got rolling, right, and you opened shop and all that, who are the people that kept showing up? Because I was laid off, right? In my past, that
hmm
happened to me, and it's always
hmm
hard, right? And sometimes, and as I said, I'm not sure if I mentioned to you, but I'm also a coach, right? And in
Yes.
the early days for coaching, sometimes we're just trying to pay the bills, right? And we ended up helping a lot of people, not necessarily really our ICP, because eventually we sharpen the blade, we got it, we attract a certain type of people, right? But can you talk to us a little bit about the evolution of who you served at the start and who you serve now?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to do that. So I started off during the pandemic, just by promoting my new services online. So I was on Facebook, on IG, back then on Twitter, on TikTok, and also I did a little on LinkedIn. But I started bringing people in just by saying, hey, I'm a coach now, support me, I can help you. And I got a wide array of individuals. I got men and women from around the world, not just nationally. And it was then that I realized I had to be a little more pointed on who I wanted to serve, because everybody wasn't for me to serve. And so I got people who were, amazing individuals, but needed medication and they were not medicated. I interacted with people who were undiagnosed but actually had diagnoses, and they realized it. They knew something wasn't, they weren't 100%, and knew maybe it was something medical or emotional going on and hadn't gotten help for it. And so it became really difficult for me to even attempt to serve everybody, because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, and I don't have the experience necessary, I feel, to coach people with such deep need professionally, especially as it relates to medication and diagnoses. So that's when I decided I'd better really get serious about my niche and tell people more about who I am and my experience and who I want to serve. So I decided to pivot from just opening up to everybody and utilizing the clients I already had. I was doing OD work. I was coaching teams, or consulting teams, I guess you could say, and realized that there were potential clients in the organizations I was serving as a consultant. So that was my first pivot. That was my first major pivot after I got started, is deciding I was going to look inside the organizations I served for clients who needed my coaching. And that's what helped me to move forward through that awkward patch in my career as a coach.
Hmm. So interesting.
hmm
I love the fact that you mentioned, first of all, you draw a line on the sand, right? Basically, this is who I can help and who I cannot help. Like you're setting up yourself, your own boundaries, which I think it shows integrity. So kudos to you. I really like that. Now, let's do a little bit of a game of pretend, right? Let's
Sure.
pretend I'm your ideal client profile, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Um, so, can you, first of all, how would I be able to find you, right? Marketing wise.
Let me say I am horrible at marketing, number one. Awful. But you would find me on LinkedIn. That's primarily where I promote myself is on LinkedIn and he sporadically on IG. You would also find me on a few organizational websites who have posted my coaching services because I've helped them. So you could find me on some org websites, but primarily on LinkedIn and my website if you run across it.
Okay, so we're talking about LinkedIn. There's some websites out there. So we're still in the game of pretend. I'm still, and by the way, if I got it right, it's mostly women that you serve now, right? High performance
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not really me. It's my long distance cousin on this scenario. She's
It
called
is, but
Pedra, by the way.
there you go. But I do serve men. Believe it
Okay,
or not, I do have male clients. Men have reached out and said, "Do you serve men?" And I actually do, but it's not necessarily my target.
got it. 100%. I want to do your bread and butter. Okay. So it is my long distance cousin, Pedra. So
Gotcha.
Pedra
Yep.
looked at your website, looked at LinkedIn. She's like, Monica gets me. She reaches out, right? We can speed up a little bit on the sales process, really up to you. Okay.
Hmm.
I would say there's alignment, something like that. She knows you can help. You know you
Hmm.
can help her.
Hmm.
So what I really want to know is to understand a little, if you can give me a little peek behind the curtain of how does it look like to work with your business, right? Rocket Consultants, and the outcomes she can expect.
Sure. I love that question. So once she connects with me and decides that, she wants to move forward with me as a coach, and she would complete a contract slash onboarding document. And it really asks more detailed questions about her background, her experiences, and her desires. Who does she want to be? What does she want coaching to do for her? And what is it going to mean for her, not just her, but her ecosystem, her whole life? What's it going to mean for her family, her friends, her job? Because I want her to know that this is bigger than just Petra. And so we would go through that process. And then, in that process, she would identify the best time frame for us to work to do our sessions. And I would honor that. We would go from there. And what she can expect from me if she does all of her work, because there's work that clients certainly must do. And if she does all her work, she can expect to be a transformed woman after she works with me. And transformation means that it's not, you know, change. I see like hair color, right? She might, feel more confident and she might change her hair color from black to pink, right? She may feel more confident and bold enough to do that. But she'll also feel more confident and bold to pursue relationships, to pursue roles at work, to be more confident in being the high impact woman that she wants to be, and even identifying herself as high impact, moving forward. So those are key things that I've noted about my clients' work with me.
Hmm. Okay. Now I have some specific questions. I'm trying to wear Pedra's shoes here for a second, get inside her
Sure.
head, your ICP. And one thing that I worked in corporate banking,
Hmm.
consulting firm. I already mentioned that. And one thing that I saw happening a lot, well, everyone in corporate, they kind of suppress their true selves in a way. They're trying to fit in a box. They trying to, fit the culture to get inside that world and a little bit about that. But I see, and I may be off here, Monica, please correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not a
Hmm.
woman, but I see a lot of women out there in corporate really suppressing their true selves, their true versions, right? It's almost like they're trying to pretend they have a thick skin. They have to walk. They're like sometime extra, I wouldn't say mean, but very to the point, because they don't want to be second guessed. It's hard for them to earn their spot. I get it, right? So what I'm thinking is, Pedro, she's telling you, you know what, Monica, you're telling me about a transformation. You're talking to me about being my true version of who I can and all that. But in reality, suppressing my true self got me so far right now in the corporate game. Should
Mhm.
I let that go and be who I am? Or, should I just keep on doing what I've been doing? You know what I mean? That type of question, because it's almost like an identity shift, you know?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I love that question. And I would say that is something that comes up frequently, right? What got you to where you are now is the same thing that will get you to the next chapter or the next version of yourself. And if that answer is yes, then keep it and let's adopt other practices to add to what is working well for you. I say if it's working, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I would ask Pedra, what else do you believe you need? If you want to hold, if that's working for you, what else do you think you need? What else should we explore? And we do that. Sometimes people decide that they're not ready to let go of something and they're open to other things before they're even considering letting that thing go. And sometimes I think that's necessary to know that there are options, right? Just letting that one part of yourself go is not the end all be all. But I think the most powerful thing that my clients slash partners realize is that they are dynamic. There are different parts of them that maybe they haven't explored. So perhaps the part that is the C-suite holder is also the fighter, right? The person who fights, I'm going to fight my way through this. I'm going to hold my stake in the ground. That's a part that maybe all of us have that is not as dominant because we haven't had to use that part of ourselves. Um, and so maybe it is the artist that she needs to bring in. Maybe it's the nurturer that she needs to bring in. Maybe it's the creator part of her. So I like to introduce women to other parts of themselves that they have exiled for whatever reason, or they have lost and don't realize it. I enjoy that challenge in working with him.
Hmm. Love that. Okay. I have another question. Let's pretend Pedro was all right. She onboarded. She started doing the reps, whatever. You guys were like showing up, doing the homework. I know there's a little bit of homework here,
Hmm.
but let's say, and I picked up on something you mentioned. If she does all her work, right? End
Hmm.
quote. Let's say she's not doing her part. She starts to no show. She starts to not do the homework, rescheduling, and you're really not feeling it, right?
Hmm.
You're like, what's happening? So, how do you navigate a client like that? Someone who starts slowly drifting away.
Yes. I believe in touching elephants, the old elephant in the room things. Like I
Mhm.
touch elephants. So I don't just let them sit. And so to me, the elephant in the room could be that. Like this person is not showing up. This person is not doing her part to become who she wants to be. And so I name that. I name an observation that I have, and I give my partners an opportunity to respond. And so I let it be that. I respond based off of what they say to me. I have done this before, and so sometimes people will say time. Well, it's a timing issue. My calendar got busy. And so I ask, is it still a good time to do this? Do they need to stop, pause, and give more attention to work or family or whatever it is stopping them from being able to continue in a more committed way? And we investigate, we instigate a little bit to see what is it. And I move forward from there. And I'm okay with stopping. I don't believe in dragging things out that aren't the right time or a good fit. So I offer to discontinue. And if it continues, right, with someone not being responsive or engaged, then I do stop. And I let them know that if and when they want to continue, I'm here. Um, and I'm ready to pick up when they're ready to be fully engaged and pick up to move forward.
Interesting. Okay. I know that you respect their timing. I mean, you're so respectful on boundaries. You're not trying to push people into do something. I really appreciate that. Now, I'm gonna shift gears for a second, moving to coach talk here.
Sure.
Because as a coach myself and a podcast host, sometimes I mean, let's compare to my previous corporate world life. It was like when I clocked out, right? It was just like, bye bye, everyone. Sayonara. See you Monday, right? But
Hmm.
when you become a business owner, it's a bit different. If you don't set up the boundaries right, and your
Hmm.
work seems pretty hands on, right? So
It is.
how do you think about capacity so you don't stretch yourself too thin and burn yourself out? Because that's the thing, right? Sometimes I'm having fun, but it also drains me as much as I'm
Hmm.
like sometimes working 10 hours. So I'm guilty on that side on the capacity thing, but I would love to hear your take.
Yes. So I'm very conscious I've been burned out before. I have been a slave to the system before. So I don't ever want to go back to that again, especially as a business owner. I work Monday through Thursday with people. So I'm not available to work with people on Fridays. That is solely my admin day. That gives me energy. That lets me replenish. I don't work on weekends unless I'm doing a conference, speaking at a conference or facilitating on the weekend. So that helps to replenish me as well. And I honor all of that time. I 100% do my admin on Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday, I absolutely have a good time. Or I'm meditating, or I'm reading, or I'm spending time with family. Sunday evening, I may do a little just to prep for whatever's coming on Monday morning. But I honor my time away from people. And during the work week, Monday through Thursday, I do work 10-hour days sometimes. Sometimes it's 12 hours or more. I love what I do. I look at my business as my legacy. It's an homage to my family, to my parents, and to people who believe in the work that I do. And so I have fun while I'm doing my 10 to 12 plus hours, Monday through Thursday. I listen to myself. So if I am tired, I stop and I work out. I try to eat well. I drink plenty of water. So I do things that I believe and I feel replenishes my body and keeps me whole and my cup full, so that I'm able to do the work that helps me to sustain my life.
Mm, okay. Great reminder. Now, I'm curious about another topic in the coaching space, which is pricing, right?
Hmm.
I feel like every coach wrestles with at some point and how to package their work. I feel also like service-based industries overall, they have a hard time on pricing because it's a very self-worth path, right? You're trading your time for dollars or whatever. And we're not talking about hard numbers here. It's more about the mindset behind it, right? So, how do you think about it today? And were there any lessons along the way that shaped how you are right now? And the reason I ask this is, like, sometimes from pivots, is it's easy to say, "Hey, you should charge how much you're worth," whatever people say out there. But sometimes we have bills knocking on the door, right? And it's hard to control the mindset, the scarcity mindset behind it. So, I'd love to understand your point of view on the topic.
Absolutely. So when I first started, I definitely was nervous and I was grateful for anybody who would sign up. So I was
So
not
cool, right? Like
charging
at the early days,
premium
you're like,
rates.
this is cool, it's happening.
Yes, I'm like, it's like riding the bicycle without training wheels for the first time, you know? It's like, oh,
Right.
oh my gosh, I'm actually doing this thing. And so, my pricing wasn't premium. I was just charging something because I had a business, but I was too grateful to charge premium because I figured they would leave me or they would spread the word that I was too expensive and nobody else would hire me for anything at all. I did that for a while. I think I did that probably for the first year until I went to my first mastermind and I met millionaires and I saw how millionaires worked. And I said to myself, I am never going to undercut myself in life again because there are people out there who will pay me. If they believe in what I do and they want to hire me, they'll do it. And so I went to a mastermind in Tulum back in 2022, and I haven't looked back since. So I charge premium rate and I get paid premium rate for what I do. I don't accept anybody who's not able to pay that. Um, and I am here for them when they can. That's what I do share.
Oh my God, Tulum, right? Just recently, this May, we were there with Purple Circle. Or we made our retreat Tulum. So, oh my God, the cenotes. I'm not sure if you
Yes.
went there, but don't allow me to get into a rabbit hole about Tulum. Okay, I'll try to keep myself at bay here. Interesting. Yeah, it's about the transformation at the end of the day, and understand what's your value, right? The value you bring to your
Yes.
clients and all that. Love that perspective.
Yes. Because they're paying for the hours that I put into preparing, the resources I share, the videos I do. I mean, that's time that I put into it. And I think about also the thousands of dollars I've paid to become certified as a coach and consultant. I look at my partners and clients paying for that as well, because I didn't just wake up and start doing this. It took a lot of intention and preparation. It continues to take a lot of intention and preparation.
Okay. Now, shifting gears for a second, I am very curious about where you're taking all this, right? Looking ahead, where do you see the business going, Monica? Are you thinking about scaling, hiring, or is there a
Yeah,
next step you're excited about, you know?
yeah, thank you for that. So I am excited about scaling. That is next for me. I've been hesitant to do it because I am a very happy solopreneur and I don't know what my life is going to be like bringing another person on to work with. So I've been like dragging my feet on scaling, but honestly, I need that. I need a partner to work with, especially on the back end. I am not a tech person, but as you know, as a solopreneur, I am the chief technology officer, I'm the CEO, I'm the chief financial officer, I'm the chief marketing officer. Like I do everything, and I would love to be able to hand off the technology to someone. Uh, that would be the first thing I would do as part of scaling because that is the one thing that holds me up in my business is the nuts and bolts, which is not my gift. Um, I want to scale because I think that we could serve. I know that I could serve more people, and it would help my business to become bigger. It would help me to build the legacy that I want, and it would help to serve people in different parts of the world and help to more deeply serve people in ways that I'm not able to do it because it's just me. So I'm looking forward to being able to hire other people and to scale.
Interesting. Now I want to do a second game of pretend, but it's a little bit more of a sci-fi thing. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's say we have a time machine in front of us. Okay,
Hmm.
Monica, and we're gonna have two stops. Okay. The
Okay.
first stop, you'll be able to go back in time when you started your business. Okay.
Hmm.
And you can give past Monica one piece of business advice when she was starting first day that you wish you knew back then that you know now,
Hmm.
right? What would be that advice?
Stop overthinking and just do it. Stop ruminating on perfection because there's no such thing as perfection. You don't have to be perfect to start. Just put one foot forward and start doing it and refine it as you go along. Don't hold back. Do it. Stop questioning, stop second thinking every single thing you're doing. There are people out there who are not as prepared as you, who aren't as talented as you, and who aren't as engaging as you are. And they are highly successful. They have people following them, they have people they're influencing, not because they're so much better, but because they did it. They're doing the work, they've done it, they are doing it, and they aren't overthinking it. They are adjusting as they move forward and they're continuing to go. So take a page from their book.
Mm. You know, I have some buddies, and I'm not judging people that search for certifications, look to improve themselves. But sometimes I feel like some people, from my perspective, they feel like they're never ready and just always adding something
Mhm.
to when they're running away from real test, right? To put yourself out there, like, oh, I
Yeah.
need a PhD, I need X, Y, and Z, I need this to do that. And sometimes it's just about hitting gas, right? And
Yes,
not looking in the
that's right.
mirror.
That's right. And that was me. I need a certification. I need another degree. I need to read these books first. Oh no, I need to go to this workshop. I mean, that classic me. Um, absolutely.
Yeah, it's almost like we're looking for validation when
Yes.
we already have. I mean, of course we're gonna make mistakes. It's just part of the process. We're never
Yes.
ready, as it sounds like, right? Nobody's
That's
perfect,
right.
nobody's ready. Okay.
I
Love that
call it
reminder.
strategic procrastination too.
Yes, dude,
I'm
exactly.
procrastinating for a good reason, is what I tell
Exactly.
myself.
Now, second stop, you can go back in time and you can select one moment. I would love to have one specific moment, and probably you have several, but one is that's like top of mind. So the one that pops up in your head first, and that moment would be the one that you felt so fulfilled, right? That gave you the reason.
Mhm.
You were like, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
That type of moment. You have one for us?
Yes. I forgot to mention, I'm also a teams coach. So I do team and group coaching. So most of my clients are organizations, but I did a team coaching contract for a year with a large organization based in DC. And I did a retreat last summer, actually. And at the end, people were so overcome with joy from having experienced the day long retreat. They were crying. They had tears in their eyes and they were had tears rolling down their cheeks. They were dabbing each other's eyes. So that really touched me. That I was so moved because I didn't know that it was that deep for them. I didn't know that what I had prepared was really going to impact the team in such a way. And so I don't ever want to forget that, and I hope it happens again. Like I want to be connected that deeply with people that they are moved enough to tears. So I won't ever forget that. And I think the thing that got them is that we did a whole person approach to teamwork. We didn't just focus on people's, doing the assessment and, getting somebody's work style and personality type. And like we did all that stuff before, but
Mm-hmm.
we really asked people to connect with themselves before they connected with other people. And I think that is the thing that really helped people to become emotional was the connection with themselves first.
Super cool, right? And joke
Hmm.
joke aside, I'm thinking about you meeting the first kid next teen, and you're like, I'm gonna make you cry, buddy. I'm just kidding.
It's
I'm just
hilarious.
messing. Okay, I love that. Now, if someone listening wants to connect with you or follow your work, Monica, and we're gonna have all the links in the description, right? But what's the best way for people to find you and connect with you?
Yeah, so check out my website. It is rocket with two T's consultants.com. And you have an opportunity to look at more about me and what I do and my programming. And you also have a chance to text me, call me, or email me, or get on my calendar. That's also an option from my website. So you can directly connect there. I am also on LinkedIn. Please feel free to reach out directly there. It's Monica Taylor, just my first and last name. And you should see me pop up as an OD leader consultant and coach. And feel free to send me a message, and I would love to respond to you from LinkedIn as well.
Okay. Few moments that you shared today really stayed with me. Going back to the origin story that you mentioned, women that were performing rather than being, right, forgot who they truly are. So very interesting that move too. And also now this part, I feel like it's the wild part of the episode. It's like you were laid off by your ICP, dude. This is just as this. If you see that in a movie, you're like, yeah, that doesn't really happen in reality, in real life, right? It's so different. But at the same time, not trying to be a crystal bro here, right? But certain things happen for a reason. Sometimes it feels like, right? It's just like that person had a role in your life that landed you where you are right now. It helped you, pushed you forward to help others. Even though it was not perfect at the moment, you didn't start it like that. And at least on my perspective, it doesn't seem like it was great, right? Being laid off never is. But thinking back right now, almost like a gift. It's so interesting how life works, right?
That's right.
Now, another thing that caught my attention is like how open you are about your own obstacles, your own challenges. Like, for example, when we're talking about the ICP and the evolution of it, you're like, yeah, there were people that needed medication, but this is not my lane, right? I can't serve these people. And I'm horrible at marketing. So to a certain level, you're very vulnerable, right? You have such a way of owning your own story that for you, it sounds like it's effortless, but it really is powerful. Looking at least on my perspective, a lot of people shy away from this type of stuff. And talking about that on a podcast, super cool to watch. I would say last but not least, whenever I try to put you against the wall, right? What's bad Pedro gonna do? Like what happens here? You're always in a guide sense of way of doing things. It's like, what else do you think you need? Right? Always the door open, options. Maybe this is not the right time for you to let things go. Really depends. It's not like an argument. It's more about giving people space, understand that's their journey. You're there to help in case they want to raise their hands. But it's definitely not a fight, an argument. No, I want you to do X, Y, and Z. So this is just my long-winded way of saying, Monica, that I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you being here and sharing so openly today. It was great having you on.
It was an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
That's it for this episode. This episode, as well as this podcast, was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help business owners elevate their business to 6, 7, and 8-figure years, all without burning out. If you're looking to grow your business, as well as get the time freedom that you are looking for, visit us at joinpurplecircle.com and see what we can do to help you and your business.